Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call this council committee meeting, June 9, 2026, to order. And at this time, we'll have the roll call.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Hayes.
Present.
Councilman Alexander.
Present.
Councilman Carter.
Present.
Councilman Fan.
Here.
Councilman Fennell.
Present.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
And Councilman Javance. Vice Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. At this time, we'll have the approval of the minutes for the council committee meeting on May 26, 2026.
Motion approved.
Have a motion by Councilman Fennell,
Second.
second by Councilman Alexander. Who? Oh, Councilman Jones. I'm sorry. All right. Any discussion? Any changes? If not, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. All right, this time we'll have public recognition, and this is the only public recognition we have in the meeting. So if anybody wants to come up and speak on anything, you have 5 minutes. Just come up to the podium and give your name and address, please.
James Wright, 134 Richland Court. I'm here about the what's on Agenda 5. It's abandoned property that has been abandoned for about 35 years. And the city was donated that property by Randy Jones when he developed the subdivision over there. And they was supposed to put a road in, evidently, and didn't. It never happened. So I'm trying to. We took care of it for all this time. So I don't think a road's ever going to get put in there. So I'd like to take over the property. Me and my neighbor. I'm splitting it with my neighbor to make it right. So if we could do that, it'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Johnny Anderson, 210 Preston Lane in Gallatin. Also part co-owner of the property at 1801 Woods Ferry Road, which is a residence of my mom, and shared property ownership with me, the two brothers, and my mother. It is directly adjacent to the property mentioned in item 2 and 3. I just want to ensure that whatever development comes into that property is done in a respectful way of the farm that my mom lives on, and to make sure that the property is searched, because there are caves on the property. I just want to make sure that the future development is safe from any damage that might be done from any caves underneath there, because my parents both lived on that property in 2010 when the Nashville flood happened, and the only part of the property that flooded was the lowest part. Came out of a sinkhole that's part of the cave system, and that part of their property flooded. So I just want to make sure that any development that goes in there is properly addressed and there's safety for anything that might be developed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Rosemary Bates, 395 Devon Chase Hill, and I'm here speaking about the resolution about nuclear families. I was raised in the Baptist church. I spent several years in the Church of Christ, and I am now an Episcopalian. I have read this resolution, and what concerns me is that you, the council, would be dictating to the community what God's design is for a family. I do not believe the definition in this resolution is God's design. There are multiple families where there is one parent, usually the woman, as referenced in this resolution. There are other forms of families that I think and do not agree with some people who disagree with people being born certain ways or choosing to live certain sexual affiliation roles. I am a single parent from a man who was not the best father, nor was he the best husband. This would indicate that I should have stayed in that relationship regardless of what it caused to my children and myself, our mental health, our physical health, and our financial stability. If you want to solve a problem and you would like to do what God what I believe God and Christ have challenged you to do is that everybody should be responsible for what they contribute and what they cause to happen in the world. You say that fatherless families are 4 times more likely to live in poverty, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe what you need is a resolution challenging men who have children to become fathers and teach them how to be fathers. That's the problem in some of these situations in terms of a nuclear family. I think that this is also really hinting at sexual orientation more than it is having a solid 2-parent household, raising children, whether they birthed them, adopted them, or inherited them from a neighbor, because they chose to take over them. And I am just concerned that the city would be taking a religious position that not all Christians agree with, myself among them. So I appreciate you listening to me. I hope you don't pass this. I think it sends a message that is very exclusionary and says, ooh, bad people, bad families, we don't want you. And I don't think that's the way God would approach it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Okay.
My name is Mary Janung. I live in 1100 Lock 4 Road, and I'm here to talk about the resolution of the partial land out on Peach Valley Road and Woods Ferry. I know that this is the Kirkpatrick property. It is a slither of property compared to what we've already done with annexation out there. The development out on Lock 4, Peach Valley Road and Woods Ferry and Nichols Lane has become quite the challenge in our community, in our neighborhood. Lots of dynamiting, lots of trucks, lots of bulldozers, huge trucks coming up and down the road, dirt and dust. I would like you to consider not doing this right now and take a pause on this annexation until we can come to a quiet time in the area, because I already have cracks in my house, on my walls from the dynamiting, and a lot of the neighbors have become very, very upset about what's happened. It's causing damage to people's homes with the dynamiting. It's just, we need to really think about when you annex property and what the plans are, because I assume there's probably going to be townhouses built there, knowing the situation that we have now currently in the city. But I would appreciate it if you would consider taking a pause and not doing this at this time. And thank you, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Missy Colson, 997 Westbrook Drive. And this is kind of a twofold prong based on one of the council meetings I went to, where something came up about that we don't have enough housing and people to fill jobs when we have employers wanting and manufacturers wanting to move into our county. I kind of say that is not probably accurate. According to what I have dug up, and it's a little, depending on if you look at the state or who you look at, we have anywhere around 21,000 as far as home units. Those home units are broke down by single-family homes, townhomes, and apartments. Single-family homes are about 55% of that, which I'm relieved that it's that high, 55 to 60%. But apartments are running 25 to 30%. Now, townhomes, which, again, those people, if they own those townhomes, I'm looking at improving our tax base, is only 9% in this county. So I think we need to look at how better to have a better mix. I also looked up for a city of our size, what goes on in a similar cities across the country. They're looking at that it should be 15 to 20% would be the townhomes. So I really think from an apartment standpoint, we're in good shape. The other thing is I dispute that we really need to get more employers and jobs in here. I don't know if any of you traveled down 109 headed towards Lebanon during commute times, but it is bumper to bumper. You couldn't bother to get over that slower speed limit if you wanted to. Both lanes locked down, bumper to bumper. Nashville, 386. Where are they heading for the jobs? Nashville. And we need to get the employers into this county. Then we need to worry about if we don't have enough housing and apartments. I think we got enough on the books with the 10,000 units, mixed, some houses, some townhomes, some apartments. But I really want you to really look at that before you go ahead and start approving a bunch of apartments into this community. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Vice Mayor, members of the council, and fellow citizens of Gallatin, good evening. We gather tonight in this chamber to conduct
Can you
the
give your
business.
name and address, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Michael Zinzer, 914 Farrington Way, Gallatin, Tennessee, a 48-year resident of Gallatin. We gather tonight in this chamber to conduct the business of this great city, and on this particular night, we have the privilege of doing something more than passing a resolution. We have the opportunity to declare out loud on the record and before God in this community what we believe, what we value, what kind of city we intend to be. I rise in strong support of the resolution before you tonight, a resolution designating June as Nuclear Family Month in the city of Gallatin, Tennessee. Consider the moment in which we meet. This year, 2026, marks the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. 250 years ago, a group of extraordinary men with a firm reliance on divine providence pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to birth a nation unlike any the world has ever seen. They were husbands and fathers. They were men who came home from the halls of revolution to families waiting for them. Wives who held things together while the world was being remade. Children who grew up in households where duty, faith, and self-sacrifice were not slogans, but a way of life. The founders did not build America in a vacuum. They built it from homes. They built it from families. Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, George Washington, these men understood that the republic they were creating could only survive if the families it rested upon remained strong. John Adams wrote to his beloved Abigail that the future of America depended not on its armies or its constitutions alone, but on the character formed in its homes. The nuclear family was not a peripheral concern to the founders, it was the cornerstone. So as we mark this semi-quincentennial, this once in history 250th birthday of the greatest experiment in self-government the world has ever known, what better time for the city of Gallatin to stand and say, we still believe what the founders believed. We still hold these truths. The family is the first and most essential institution of a free people. This resolution follows the lead of the Tennessee General Assembly, which in March of this year passed House Joint Resolution number 182 with strong bipartisan support. Our state legislature looked at the evidence, and it's powerful evidence, and concluded that the nuclear family deserves to be honored celebrated, and strengthened. This resolution lifts something up. It says to the married couples in Gallatin, we see you. We honor your commitment. It says to the fathers who get up every morning and go to work for their families, your sacrifice matters. It says to the mothers who are raising children in two-parent homes, passing on faith and values and love, Gallatin is with you. And it says to our children, the city in which you are growing up believes in the kind of family that gives you the best chance at a bright future. Now, some will say that celebrating the nuclear family is a relic of the past. I say the opposite is true. The things that are generally true do not expire. Gravity has not stopped working in the modern era. And the truth that children thrive when raised by a mother and a father who are committed to each other and to them, that truth has not changed either. Gallatin was founded on traditional values. It has grown and prospered because generation after generation, families in this city passed something on, not just land and property, but character, faith, integrity, love of neighbor, the willingness to sacrifice today for something better tomorrow. Those values were forged in homes. They were taught around dinner tables. They were modeled by fathers who led, and mothers who loved, and parents who stayed. That is what we're celebrating with this resolution. Not a political party, not an ideology, a way of life that has served humanity since the beginning and that serves Gallatin still. This resolution calls upon our citizens, our schools, our churches, and our civic organizations to celebrate the nuclear family throughout the month of June. I urge each of you, wherever you gather, however you serve this community, to take that call seriously. Celebrate the families around you, strengthen the ones that are struggling, support the organizations in Gallatin that walk alongside parents and children every single day. June is here, and as we mark both Nuclear Family Month and the 250th birthday of this great nation, let us do so with the same spirit the founders had, knowing that what we are protecting is not merely a policy or a preference, but the very foundation of civilization itself. Vice Mayor and Council, the men who signed the Declaration of Independence 250 years ago were guided by a conviction that certain truths were self-evident, that we are created, that our rights come from God, that the purpose of government is to protect those God-given rights and the communities in which they flourish. The nuclear family is where those rights and that flourishing begin. It's where the next generation of Gallatin citizens is being formed right now, in living rooms and around kitchen tables, in bedtime prayers, morning routines, and in the 10,000 small acts of love and discipline and sacrifice that make a child into a person of character.
Your 5 minutes is up, if you don't mind, so
Just a couple more sentences.
wrap it up, please.
All right. Let Gallatin go on record tonight in this anniversary year as a city that believes in a nuclear family, a city that honors its foundations, a city that looks to the next 250 years with confidence because it has not forgotten what made the last 250 possible. I urge your unanimous support for this resolution. God bless the families of Gallatin. God bless the great state of Tennessee. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Anyone else? If not, public recognition is closed. At this time, I have a few comments from the mayor. She wanted me to let everybody know that Connie Kitchell's birthday is, let's see, June the 9th. That's today. Yeah, that's today. All right. June 13th, you get airplanes, appetites, and automobiles, pancake breakfast at the Music City Executive Airport at 8 a.m. Gallatin Cheesecake Festival, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the 13th. Downtown Gallatin Car Cruise In, City Hall parking lot, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. on the 13th. 6/14 is Flag Day. 6/18, Leadership Gallatin Recruitment Mixer at the station, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Third Thursday on the Square with Eric Blankenship and the designated drinkers, 6:30 to 9 p.m. on 6/18. 6/19, Juneteenth, most city offices are closed. And on 6/20, Flower Fest downtown from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's all I have. And at this time, we'll move on to the agenda. Item number 1 is Brian Rose, the city planner. with an ordinance of the City of Gallatin, Tennessee, approving a preliminary master development plan for Kinsley, a residential development on 21.94 acre portion of a parcel located south of Long Hollow Pike and west of Greenlee Boulevard. Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair and members of the council. This is a request to approve a PMDP for 33 single-family homes and 49 townhomes on a 21.94 plus or minus acre portion of a parcel in the MRO district for Kensley, a residential development located south of Long Hollow Pike and west of Greenlee Boulevard. For your location edification, so Long Hollow Pike is here, Greenlee Boulevard is here. You have Grandstand Boulevard here with the Kensington Downs development just to the east of the proposed development, which is in this yellow rectangular shaped parcel there. The proposed density of the project is 3.74 units per acre. That is significantly less than the 14.52 units per acre that are allowed on this parcel in the MRO zoning district. And I'll just give you some clarification. The purple area here is the area in question, and that is the part that is zoned MRO. The green area here is, this parcel is a split zone essentially, but this is zoned agricultural. So that is not a part of this proposal, but the purple area, which is the MRO district, does allow for the 14.52 units per acre. And again, they're proposing 3.74 units per acre, again, significantly less. The applicant is requesting a variety of exceptions for the development, including street side yards. And this is for the single-family development, and I'll just kind of highlight. You've got your single-family homes basically lining the edge here and the edge here, and then just a little bit right there, and then your townhomes kind of in the back corner here away from your more main roads. This would be the extension of Grandstand Boulevard, and then this is kind of a spine road heading north and south that will stub into properties to the north and south. You got another stub road right there. So again, they're asking for some exceptions for single-family exceptions. They're asking to change the street side yards from 20 feet to 12 feet with a 5-foot porch encroachment, a minimum lot width from 60 feet to 50 feet. And then your townhouse exceptions, you would change the side yards from 10 feet down to 7.5 feet opposite a common wall. Street side yards from 20 feet to 15 feet with a 5-foot porch encroachment. Minimum lot width from 60 feet down to 24 foot 4 inches. And minimum lot size from 6,000 square feet to 2,000 square feet. In addition to that, they are requesting an architectural exception from the 70% brick and stone requirement. And they've got a pattern book that I'll show you here in a minute that sort of details the types of materials that they're requesting to be able to use. The property is designated as general urban in the Plan Gallatin and as the character area. The property already has the MRO zoning though, so really the Plan Gallatin at this point is somewhat less relevant just because they already have that zoning in place. Buffer yards provided. They have a type 10, 20, and type 30 where it's MRO to MRO. Where it's MRO to R8 PRD, which is on the east, they have a type 20 and then type 20, alternative type 20. MRO to MRO on the south, they've got a type 20 slash type 10 slash type 20, and then an MRO to agricultural, which is on the north. the type 35 or type 15. The applicant, again, as I stated, has submitted a pattern booklet. I'll go through that just briefly here. So these are your elevations that they've proposed. There's 6 different homes there. And then these are the elevations proposed for the townhomes. And again, these are conceptual in nature, as this is a PMDP, so they'll get a little more detailed as we get into the FMDP stage. But this is kind of the type and style that you would be expecting with this development. Planning Commission did vote with a vote of 5-0 to recommend approval of this plan to the City Council. That's pretty much it. I'll just kind of run through this pattern booklet, these pages here, and then I'll give the applicant some time to explain that a little bit more. But they are talking about a roundabout here, so you'll see that with an open space. This is kind of a main open space as you're coming in. This is Grandstand Boulevard, and then that open space will front onto it with your homes fronting onto the open space. Just some locational pictures here. Their zoning. A little bit to do with the natural features. So there is a small stream that runs this way, east-west on the property. This is the north side right here, and then the south. And it does kind of tail to the south a little bit. They are trying to do their best to avoid impacts to that, and so you'll see that their road design essentially kind of skirts around that and doesn't do a whole lot to to impact it. As you see, that comes this way, and then there's a road crossing here, but it does get a lot smaller as far as the impact to that wet area as you get further away from it on that side. Keep going. That's, again, just part of their open space, and I'll let them explain some of this. Some details out about the entranceways, look and feel, perspectives, community character, different zones within the area and what that type of development might look like. Again, these will be kind of different facades and how that looks and how they'll change it up. Yeah. With that, I'm going to invite the applicant to come up and continue on with their presentation. And I'll be available for questions if you need them.
Sorry. No. Thank you. Luke Talley with Civil Site Design Group, 2305 Klein Avenue, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm the engineering project manager on this, and I'll let Chris introduce himself as well.
Yeah, Chris Jansen, landscape architect and planner with CSDG 2305 Klein Avenue, Nashville, Tennessee. Kind of want to just hit on some of the things that Brian had brought up regarding the plan and just kind of talk through that before we kind of open it up. Like you said, it's a mixed residential development, 82 units split between single family and townhomes. We're actually working with Shell Brothers for the townhome and single family product, so it's a little bit elevated of a product. From the townhome standpoint, they're a little bit larger of units. So on average, they're about 2,600 square feet with an option up to about 3,000 square feet. So they do have some options for future residents to increase their footprint and some furnishings and specs regarding that. Regarding parking from a townhome perspective and just general site, we're meeting a requirement. Townhomes, we're at about 4 spaces per. Oh, okay, sorry. We're at about 4 spaces per unit, and then single family, we're right around 2.5, somewhere in there. So from that standpoint, we're meeting all the requirements. From an open space, like Brian was kind of indicating, we have like a dedicated open space as you come in. Kind of have a mix of uses there. playground, dedicated open space, swings, just kind of a central open space for that community to use. And then we also have more of a dedicated muse is what we're calling it. So that's kind of more in the townhome area, kind of a backyard feel that's more communal. So people would have access right off the backside of their townhomes to that muse with seating and grilling and just kind of a hangout space, kind of acting as an extension of their backyard. Beyond that, I think the focus was kind of connectivity, walkability, extension of Grandstand Boulevard, and connectivity back into Kensington Downs and then into the future to the west. That would continue as well. Is there anything else? With that, I'd open any questions that anyone has.
Any questions for Belderman? Any questions whatsoever?
Question for Mr. Rose.
One question for y'all real quick, if you don't mind, if you're all right, Todd.
Yeah.
Architecture, what are y'all going to use instead of, like, I know y'all asked for an exception.
Yeah, so I think we're at 55 or 60% brick for townhomes and single family. It's matching what was done at Kensington Downs just next door. So I think it's just the reduced percentage, not necessarily anything alternative to what would be required.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilman Alexander.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Rose, I always look at the exceptions that are asked for, and a pretty good list on this one. Minimum lot size from 6,000 to 2,000.
Yeah, that's typical when you're dealing with townhomes. The ordinance itself doesn't contemplate townhomes in that lot size. So if townhomes are proposed, they're not typically going to go on a 6,000 square foot lot. So that's solely for the townhome version
So it
of
says,
the homes proposed.
single-family attached lots.
Yeah, so attached, right? Single family attached is the way that we consider townhomes to be called out. Now, if you have, I sort of detailed this in my report to you all for the item further on with the moratorium. If you have attached residential that has more than 3 or more units, then it's considered also multifamily.
Right.
So you're kind of dealing with a couple different, somewhat conflicting definitions, but we do still consider a townhome to be a single-family unit attached to other single-family units.
Just off the top of your head, this density compared to Kensington Downs?
I don't know the numbers for Kensington.
Those are larger homes, aren't they?
I'd have to review that and see what the difference is. I would venture to guess that it's probably similar. Again, I don't know though.
It looks like, when you look at the map, there's a lot of green. And then here in the middle, we're gonna fill it up full of single-family homes that are close together and townhomes.
Yeah, it's the extension of, developing that area. At some point, those areas will change over from the green agricultural land that they are to, a more developed status. That's just expected.
I hope that doesn't happen, but I understand. Thank you.
Councilman Javance?
Thank you. Expected, that's a planner dream to put, everywhere. But I agree with my colleague here that, and I said that years ago, that they took Lock 4, and when they took Lock 4, they would go to Longolo Pike because that's the only piece of green we have in Gallatin anymore, so they're coming. I have an issue with exemption, okay? That need to stop. Why do we have a zoning code if we don't apply the zoning code, okay? Every line I see there almost request a variance, okay? Front yard, 20 feet, propose 20 feet with 5-foot porch encroachment. So it's not 20 feet, it's 15 feet, all right? If there is a front porch, it's 15 feet. Street yard, 12 with 5 feet encroachment. So it's not 12, it's 7. So it's 3 times less than what they're required to do. Minimum lot width, 50 instead of 60. And same on the other side. Every line has a request of variance. And so where we go, that means, well, why are we even here? We just give them a white block and they do whatever they want. Why do we have rules if we don't follow the rules? And when I read the new ZOCO, this stuff is so far away from the new ZOCO. So when we were talking of putting a moratorium to get ZOCO passed and approved, all I heard was, oh, we're not going to do that because if we do that, that's going to last forever to get the new zoning code approved. How long that has been now? Because every time it goes to the planning, they find something and they make it going and going and going. So we're lucky if at the end of next year we get that approved, because until that approved with something was good in it, we're going to still see stuff like that. Same thing when I look at what's on Kensington down side. We have 2 lots with nice lots, and on the other side of that, we have all the nice lot Kensington. On the other side, they're going to have townhouses. So don't tell me that doesn't match Kensington. And Kensington got built. There is part of the project which should not exist, but this part makes sense. So why don't, if they say that match Kensington, that does not. That's another problem. I think we need to stop all this exemption we give, because the lot's getting smaller, the house is getting with less bricks on it. If it's supposed to be a 60 lot wide, that should be a 60 lot wide. And another thing in there is that there is no, generally you guys come with that, and I don't know why I didn't see it there. Where is the parking? There is no, I don't see any additional parking on the map. Maybe I missed it, but, and if there is, where and how much? How many? Maybe I missed it, but.
No, I can address that. I mean, I do know that in this area where the open space parking, there would be some parking along that. I also, I believe there's some parking along this open space here. And maybe you guys can answer that as far as other locations, but I do know that they had planned on some additional locations, especially with the expectation that there are townhomes in here and you don't want to overburden the roadways with parking on the streets and that sort of thing. So I'll let them address that.
Yeah, Brian hit on 2 of the 3 locations. I mean, we have parallel parking along the main open space on the right side of the plan there, surrounding the dog park, and then on the north. So yeah, we have some here, additional spots here. I think it's 6 or 7, about 3 here, and then another 6 or 7 along this streetscape here. Regarding the parking, I mean, the townhome units, it's a variation of 1-car and 2-car garage townhomes. The larger units having the 2-car with the 2-car driveway. So based on the size of the townhome units, they do have larger driveways, 2-car and 1-car garages. So from a parking requirement standpoint, single family to townhome, it checks all the requirements that would be asked of us for those unit types.
Yeah, but I have to disagree with you because I live here, okay? I have constituents living in stuff like that who complain because they don't have enough parking. I see Chief Bandy shaking his head back there because you probably have calls every day because people park in the street because they can. We authorize that, but now we have vehicles who can park. So you said 17 parking lots, additional
I
parking
think
lots.
it totals up to about 30 guest parking stalls.
But they're not on the map, and I want to see them on the map before we approve anything because honestly, you know, I've been in that situation where I personally got promised something by you guys who didn't happen, and I had to hire a lawyer and pay money to make sure that what was promised to us in written by your company got applied. So I'm kind of skeptical when you're telling me that's going to be there. So I want to see it on the map before we approve anything. Because if you take some open space to put parking, I disagree with that. So I'm going to make a motion to defer to the next work session until we get a plan that actually reflect what we're going to approve, including parking, the amount of parking was going to be there, where they're going to be there, and how that's going to be handled. So I make a motion to defer for
Have a motion, is there a second? Second by Councilman Alexander.
Can we
Any
interject
discussion?
just real quick?
Yeah.
So
No, we have a vote, so.
We're in discussion. We're in discussion right now. So anybody have anything on the motion?
I'm concerned about the parking, Craig.
Okay, well, I mean, that's what they said, all right. Can we hear from them?
We have a motion and a second.
Y'all want to suspend the rules? Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules?
No, I had enough.
Do I hear a motion to suspend the rules?
I make a motion.
All right, motion, is there a second? I'll second it. Okay, all those in favor of suspending the rules? Aye. All those opposed?
No.
4-2 or 5-2?
Sorry, my green stuff disappeared, so I don't know where.
Yeah, I don't either.
My tennis.
Okay, 5-2, all right, y'all go ahead.
So I guess I just want to touch on that's not on the plan. There are 30 parking spaces for guests on this current plan. So I just want to clear that up. It's not that we're just putting 30 stalls as guest parkings and not showing it. There are 30 guest stalls provided on the plan that you see today.
Looks like letter G on that map.
Yeah.
I guess my question, y'all talking about the parking, he's wanting to show it on the map. Are y'all going to show anything different that's on there or from what's on there?
I guess that's the question I would pose is
What's he want?
what's the difference from what we're currently showing? I mean, there are
Yeah.
30 stalls on there. We do meet the parking requirements, so I guess it's just
I guess that's what we need to know then.
How many parking places total are you going to have?
total on the site is 325.
225?
325.
325?
But that includes the garages.
Includes the garage?
Yes. So
One
that is
car.
all available spaces for a car to go on this site.
And how many units total?
82.
And just to add, a lot of the guest and visitor parking was strategically placed near townhomes and places that are traditionally more congested with parking. To add to that, the typical front yard setback is required to be 20 feet. We've added an extra 5 feet to a total of 25 to give the homes a little more breathing room off the road to allow, that congestion in that area to be relieved.
Again, we're very open discussion. I have the same kind of development, 3 doors down my staff, and people are complaining because they don't use parking to park. They use parking as a storage unit. So, and a lot of people now have more than 2 cars. They have their teenage kids living with them. They're going to be 4 or 5 cars. Go on Buckingham Boulevard at 5 p.m. Go there and start counting the amount of cars who are sitting there in front of houses. It's 3, 4, sometimes it's 5, and when they can park there, they park in the street. So even 30 parking spots even if you're telling me there is 17 in front of the townhouses, if somebody on the townhouses has a birthday party, there's no room to park. 17 cars not going to be enough. So
If I can make
I
a
stick to my motion.
If I could make a comment also, though, typically for a townhome development, we are asking, as we go through the planning process, for them to provide the extra parking, which they have done. The numbers that we typically ask them to give are about 1 additional parking space for every 3 units. So in this case, they've got 49 townhome units, but 30 additional spaces within their development. So that's better than, that's better than 50%, honestly. It's 25 would be 50%. So you're talking 5 additional spaces over that. It's not outside the realm of what you would expect.
But there is what work on a paper and what we ask and what work in real life. And now we need to go back to real life and stop. Stuff we have on a paper right now doesn't work. That's why we have a new zoning code coming who's better done than that stuff.
That's what I'm saying, though. In the new zoning code, we're specifying that it should be about 1 additional space for every 3rd unit for townhomes. So, again, we've already started asking for that, and we're putting that in the new code.
Okay. All right, any other discussion on the deferral? Okay, did you get it cleared up? I mean,
Yeah, I'm still looking at what they provided on the development plan, and I see a couple of enclaves where he's saying there's going to be, but I don't see any number or how it's going to be. Like when we had Kensington townhouses plan, we had exactly the number of space and where they were. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
This one here designates your parking. And you can see it in the little chicanes along the side here. You can also see some right there. And then you see the little pull-offs here and there. Yeah. And I believe there's also, is there a separate lot for the open space? Yeah. Just the street parking.
okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there any other discussion on that?
Craig, I know I have had several police officers to mention to me that there has been problems with the parking around the townhomes in Gallatin. I also believe that if we're going to continue on the path of townhomes, we probably need to go back in there and look at some more parking places. And I hate to say something to Don, but Don, am I telling the truth here?
One of our, Don Bandy Police. One of our concerns is just, I guess it's Newman's Crossing. We just had that complaint, 2 or 3 weeks ago, where, you get cars and you got a garage and the garage is full and you got this car and then you're over a sidewalk, and then we have that complaint. And then we have 2 cars beside each other. You can't get a fire truck through. That's our concerns. If we're going to do something, let's change it and quit doing the same thing because it's not working. So,
Guys, I'm not against a development. I have voted on a lot of developments, and I'm a believer in some townhouses to keep density within our core area, to keep people from going out into the county and chewing up our inventory out in the county. But I think in this area right here, I do believe that is just, I'd rather see something a little bit less dense of a plan if it could come back.
And here's the problem on the parking. They're exceeding what our new zoning ordinance is going to show. So they're exceeding that. So, that's the thing. So, all right.
If I could add one more thing, as part of the PMDP review process with planning, there was comments made from the emergency medical team that had a quick look at this too. And part of their requirements is they wanted to make sure that at least one side of the street had designated no parking signs to allow for a minimum 20-foot access for ambulances, police. So that, we did agree to that comment. We will show, one entire side of the street to have no parking on it, so that will allow for better, moving through the development.
Okay. All right, yes.
Grandstand the only way in and out?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
So everything is going to be sprinklered? Every house is going to be sprinkler in there?
Yes, beyond the first 30. The fire code is beyond the first 30, so our first phase includes less than 30, but beyond that, yes, that's correct.
So, again, I know it's our code, but we're going to have 30 houses not sprinklered and the rest going to be sprinklered. That kind of make no sense to me, because the issue is the same for the 30 houses or the other one. If something block the entry, there is no access. So all houses should be sprinkler in there. I'll come to that later. I go back to the road, and I agree with Sean. I think about that for years now, that our road in all these developments are not big enough, because again, if you're telling me that you're going to put a no parking sign on one side of the road, where do you think people are going to go park? They're going to park on the 30 extra parking lot you're going to have there. So that's where they're going to go. So now you have no extra parking at all, because the people who live there is going to use these get parking spot, because they cannot park in front of their house. So like I say, we need to stop doing what we have been doing, which doesn't work. If the street need to be bigger, we need to have a street who's going to follow. People can park on both sides of the road, and where our emergency vehicle can access there. The staff have an issue too, looking at that roundabout and the way it's built. For what I remember on the previous development, I don't think your roundabout's going to be flat, that's just going to be a marking on the ground, or you're going to build something on there?
It will be designed to TDOT standards, so it will not be flat. It'll have an elevated center to allow for drainage around it, to all the inlets that we're going to be specifying for that. And we'll make sure that all the site distance around that roundabout is up to standard too.
So you have 2 dens, 4 block, and you have a 18 foot there. And I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, but if I remember, I don't think 18 foot there is enough to turn our biggest engine. I will ask Chief later on if you think that's enough. We can look at the numbers, but for I've seen before and I looked before, I don't think that roundabout is going to be enough big radius for our newest and biggest engine. So I think there is not enough I need to amend something, but we already have a motion on the table, so.
All right, y'all ready to vote on the motion?
Yeah.
All right, motion is to defer till the next work session. All right, all those in favor?
Was to defer until.
Till the next work session.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, I guess it's deferred.
Thank you.
Item number 2, Mr. Rose, you're up again. It's a resolution of the City of Gallatin, Tennessee, adopting a plan of services for the annexation of 5.73 acres located north of Peach Valley Road and east of Woods Ferry Road, and providing for an effective date. And you want to address number 2 and 3 while you're up there?
Sure.
Consider together.
All right, so this is the annexation and plan of services. So the first one is the annexation, the second one is the plan of services, rather 2 and 3. For the annexation of a portion of the Kirkpatrick property located east of Woods Ferry Road and north of Peach Valley Road. The property proposed for annexation is 5.73 plus or minus acres, and this is a part of another county island in the city. The location is, I'll just kind of point it out. Here is Woods Ferry Road. I'm sorry, Peach Valley Road, and then here is 109. Woods Ferry is right there on the left side. Regarding the plan of services, water, sewer, and gas are all GPU. Developer would have to extend services as necessary to provide services to the site. GDE provides electric. Facilities are available, but those, again, would need to be extended by a developer into the property for development. The report states that Public Works may require additional vehicles based on growth as a city, but again, that's only based on growth. The report states that the police department wouldn't need any additional officers to serve this development. Fire services are provided by station number 5, and they do have the appropriate number of personnel and vehicles to service the property. The remaining services are typically provided immediately, such as planning and zoning, recreation, schools, building inspections, trash, etc. No plans have been submitted this time. Of course, the applicant would have to go through a rezoning process prior to being able to even submit plans for development, but they do expect to, at some point, develop the property residentially. The applicant, I believe, is here, and I'm also happy to answer any questions you may have.
Is there a motion or any questions? Yes.
Thank you, sir. We had comment about cave and underground, and are you aware of that?
I am not aware of caves, although I knew there was a sinkhole nearby the property.
Any other questions? Any motion?
And the land around it, is it all city land?
For the most part, yes. So you've got your dotted lines are your city limits, the black and white dotted lines here.
Okay.
So there's a small portion right in here that is county island. I believe your city limits, though, there is a parcel, I want to say it's maybe right in there, that is part of the city. And then this is outside the city. And then your colored areas that are already colored are definitely already part of the city and have a zoning. There is one of the parcels in here that's in the city but doesn't have zoning yet. It might be that one. Anyway, you've got mostly surrounded by city limits.
Okay.
Anything?
I think until we know, because, again, like I say every time, I don't live there, but I'm listening to the people who live around there, people who have lived on the land forever, know what the land is. And if there are issues with, cave underground, and that can put risk, I would like to know a little more before that, because we know that work.
I know, again, that would mostly pertain to development of the property. We can't even get into that type of discussion until it's annexed. So we're just starting the process.
Motion to send it on to council.
I have a motion by. And second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Uh-oh. We're going to have to get the paddles out. All those in favor? 5. All those against? 2. 5 to 2. And number 3?
Same thing.
Same thing, all right. Any discussion on number 3? Have a motion? Councilman Carter, second by Jones. All those in favor? 5. All those opposed? 2. 5-2. Thank you. Moving on, number 4, Brian Rose.
Okay, this is the Halcom Maya Maria Drive annexation study. So is a request for annexation of 12.203 plus or minus acre parcel located west of Dottie Drive and north of Highway 25. That parcel is outlined here in yellow. Dottie Drive kind of runs north-south just to the east of the property. And then Highway 25 is roughly right there in the bottom corner. You also have Douglas Drive that kind of skirts out to the west of the property. Plan of services is in draft form and is attached to your study. The developer would have to extend services as necessary to provide services to the site. Municipalities typically consider annexation for the following reasons: to ensure the orderly future growth of the city and its surrounding areas, to ensure unified planning and zoning regulations and enforcement consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan and UGB plan, to protect or enhance the current and future municipal tax base, to increase the size and population of the community, to distribute the cost of providing municipal services more equitably, and to facilitate the long-range planning for the provision of those services, and to coordinate municipal services. Current taxes for the property are $1,480 for county, $347 for the city. This would undoubtedly increase if the property is developed. I'll highlight a couple of items with regard to this property. We did receive comments from the electric department, GDE, that this study, and I'll read what they wrote. The study states that the TVA has not established a definitive schedule or estimated date of completion for the referenced transmission infrastructure. Therefore, GDE makes no representation or warranty regarding the timing of when service may become available and expressly reserves all rights in this regard. And then also, with regard to transportation access to the property is through the Twin Eagles subdivision. You can see the Twin Eagles development to the west here. Pretty much all of the access funnels down through this main road here that heads down to Highway 25. You do have one additional access that kind of comes out to the east over here. I'm sorry, to the west over here. However, it all kind of pinch points down through this point, and you would have to go up and through this development all the way up through here and down and then over to be able to get access to this property to be able to develop it. You're all aware about the additional condition that was placed on the Twin Eagles development for the northern piece up here, which requires them to extend Dottie Drive and connect into Douglas Drive over here. They have conditions of approval that require them to put up a surety prior to being able to develop a certain number of lots. They have not yet reached that threshold, but without development of that extension of Dottie Drive, this would exacerbate the situation, just as this one would have been also an exacerbation without that condition of approval on them. So I would say annexation of the property at this point is fine, but any development proposal, staff would not support that until there's an actual connection of a roadway that has been constructed and drivable and, to code requirements. So that's The other concern, I guess, with respect to transportation and access. Report also states that the police department wouldn't need any additional officers to serve the development, and the fire department wouldn't need any additional staff or stations or apparatus to serve the development as well. Again, you have the draft plan of services attached with your report, and I'll take any questions you may have.
Any questions? Councilman Jabaz?
Is there somebody from the property here? Oh. Okay, no, from,
Is there an applicant present? I do not see them.
because from what you just said, why would even consider an annexation? I agree with everything you said, that makes no sense. Why would we, if that was my property and after I hear you talking tonight, I would say I'm not going to annex and pay more taxes when nothing's going to happen for how many, we don't know. So that's just my comment.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. All right, next on the agenda, item number 5, Nick Tuttle. Ordinance to vacate right-of-way platted as Rogers Road totaling .22 acres in the Quail Creek subdivision.
Included in your packet was a resolution, an ordinance, and the report from the Planning Commission on this request from citizen. As he spoke tonight, Mr. James Wright lives at 134 Richland Court. Let me skip ahead to my last slide to give you a better view of where we're talking about. Hartsville Pike here at the top of the screen, in Steam Plant Road coming down on the left-hand side of the screen. So off to the east of Steam Plant Road, you have Richland Circle and Richland Court that comes off into this developed area here. Mr. Wright lives here on Richland Court, and his neighbor across the unimproved right-of-way at 138 Richland Court, I think it's Mr. and Mrs. Brister, live right here. And I've highlighted the unimproved right-of-way there in red. So the request is to abandon this unimproved right-of-way. This was sent to the Planning Commission, sent to all the departments. After review of the request, the recommendation from staff was that we not abandon this right-of-way. From an engineering standpoint, the request was recommended not to be abandoned because you have the connectivity possibility from this subdivision that is cul-de-sac here, the Quail Creek subdivision, and the subdivision that is to the right with Rogers Road and Mark Circle. Let me go back to the plats. So just to kind of show you more particularly where the plats are. The plat for Quail Creek subdivision is here, Mr. Wright here, Mr. and Mrs. Brister to the south, and you can see the right-of-way stubs out to the boundary and comes up to the end of Rogers Road, which is on the other side here, the plat over here on this right-hand side. On the right-hand side, Rogers Road is somewhat constructed to the boundary. It would need to be improved for that portion to really apply to our fire codes. This was the document that was submitted by the applicant showing the abandonment request, and as was described by Mr. Wright, the request was to allow the northern piece to be abandoned to him and the southern piece to be abandoned to the neighbor to the south. The other things that I did want to point out from staff, it wasn't just engineering and connectivity that you hear from us a lot, but there were some other concerns from other departments. Gallatin Public Utilities Superintendent, Mr. Kellogg, pointed out that he does have a water line and a sewer line that run in this unimproved right-of-way. And so at the very least, if we were to abandon the right-of-way, we absolutely need to maintain an easement for those public utilities to be served. So no structures or anything would still be able to be built on that space. And then also talking with fire chief and building code official, I highlighted the area in blue for the Quail Creek subdivision. If you count those lots, the driveways that come onto Richland Court, it's 32 homes, and as we all know, our fire code requires a secondary point of ingress and egress when we exceed 30 homes. So currently, this subdivision does not meet the fire code, and another part of the recommendation would be to construct that roadway to make the connection so that the fire code could be met and the subdivision could be in compliance. There was something a little bit strange about how this came to be as we did the research. It did appear that originally the intent was to build the road. I think there were neighbors that were already living on the right-hand side that were concerned about the connection. And so the applicant was allowed to move ahead with the construction, and there was a commitment made in, I think it was 1989, by the city that they would build the road, as Mr. Wright has pointed out. That hasn't happened, but I don't think that it can't ever happen. I think that is something that we should be considering. As we have talked internally with staff, we have a number of these particular situations all over town. We think it would be wise of us to take a look at the city altogether and bring that to you as a project to connect lots of these unimproved right-of-ways so that we could have better circulation, better access, better connectivity. There's lots of reasons that I could go into and I would love to go into, but I won't do that in this particular case to tell you why that's important. But I think that's probably enough of the presentation for this particular case. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions? Councilman Johnson.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we should have a global plan, but again, we have a Twin Eagle subdivision with one entry with how many houses in there where our city lawyer came and said we need to build that secondary access, and I don't know, magically when I went to the planning, that stuff kind of disappeared. Now there is a bond, there is maybe, there is not. So yeah, connectivity is great, but again, why that was not done when that was built? Who went away with it, you know?
Other than the fact that someone complained, that's the only reason that we could gather.
And I have a question for the applicant, please.
We suspend rules? Sir.
She's the applicant.
No, he's,
Okay, all right,
he's
go
the
ahead.
applicant.
Yeah. That's fine, yeah.
How are you doing, sir?
Fine.
I think you said you had been taking care of that piece of land for since you
Long
moved
time.
there for how many years?
Yes.
How many years you have been taking care of it?
Personally, probably 20. And
At
before
least
that,
20.
the previous owner before that. But we didn't even know we didn't own it until I decided to do some tree work. And I asked the neighbor, would it be okay? And he said, I thought you owned it. Well, then we find out the city owns it. They didn't even know they owned it. So we had it surveyed, and then here we are.
20 years is a long time to
Well, yes.
take care of land. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Hey, Duke,
Mr. Jones?
who's living there now?
Who's living in now?
Yeah.
My son.
Excuse me?
My son is.
Okay.
All right, Paul, you have a question? Okay, all right. Anybody else?
Do you see in the future that road would be developed?
Saying, yeah.
I'm recommending that the city construct it, yes.
So will we mow it and keep it up if we take it back?
Our code requires the adjoining property owners to maintain grass, to cut grass on right-of-ways next to their properties. That's my understanding. I think we clarified that earlier today with our Public Works Superintendent.
So that's grass. Could they help him out on the trees or like, trimming the trees back for him or?
Removing trees, I think, is a, yeah, Mr. Dupree says that we have done that in the past, remove trees if there's a problem with trees.
So I just want to clarify what you said. We own the land and we require the people who live near the land we own to mow that land?
To maintain the grass, yes.
Somehow that don't seem fair.
It ain't fair, but I mean, I don't want to look at big 4-foot tall grass beside, my parents was in the same situation on Grandview. So, I mean, we kept it all the way to the creek, keep it cleaned up, I try to keep stuff cleaned up. But I understand the tree work too,
Sure.
Hey, if you guys come more piece of my land, I'm going to put an easement there.
It's right of way that we're talking about, but yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
Now, I would say, just a clarification on the vote, if you are in favor of abandoning the right of way, we would need to make a revision because we did not include in this that we need to retain a public utility and drainage easement. So we would need to make a revision to include that. If you are not in favor of the abandonment, then you would just need to vote no on the ordinance.
If we get a motion on it, so, all right. Is there a motion or anything on the ordinance
Motion to approve.
to approve to abandon it?
Yeah, just to move on the discussion more.
Okay, we have a motion to abandon the right of way. Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Okay. Second. All right.
I think we have enough project to build roads around the city. This one probably never going to happen during your lifetime and my lifetime. So if they take care of that piece of land, I don't see any issue for them to have it. And if something happens later and you guys want to build a road there, you can do like we're doing right now on other part of the city, just condemn the land and put the road there. So
Y'all remember when we do this now, that another one's going to come back up, and it's going to come back up. We're going to have a few of them. So. Okay.
so can I amend my own motion to add the PUD there? I want to make sure you're okay if we put a PUD there.
I didn't either. What?
Nick said we need to keep an easement for because we have utilities there. So I'm in my motion to abandon, but with the caveat that we put the needed easement for our utility on that.
Okay. Who did the second, Daniel? Who do you have? Sean, you second that? Okay. Have motion second. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Craig, can I say something before you do? What about the other properties? That's going to come up again.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be other people coming up, be like, hey, you did this over there. What about right here at this street that I ain't got?
Yeah.
What's going to cover that?
And the big issue I see too is like what he said is, it doesn't meet fire codes now, you know? So you got 32 homes and 30 homes and, you know, he's making a recommendation, fire chief's making a recommendation, public utilities making a recommendation, and we're going against the recommendation of everybody. So we're the experts and they're not, is what I'm saying.
We have probably a lot of the city who doesn't meet fire code. That means we're gonna put all the city to fire code standard.
Does that make it, I mean, if we find something, yes, we probably will go in there and correct it. Yeah. But does that make it right?
We didn't do that with Twin Eagles.
I'm saying,
corrected.
my point is that we're being the experts there and they're not. So that's my point. So any other discussion? All those in favor of abandoning the right of way? Okay, all those opposed?
No.
All right, 5-2, so. All right. Moving on, Courtney, resolution to revise the employee pay plans.
Good evening, Council. Courtney Kanjemi, HR Director. What is coming around to you right now are the revised salary charts that were to reflect the 50-cent cost of living increase that was approved during the budget process. It does also include additional titles that were approved during the budgetary process. Those job descriptions for those titles will come at the next work session, but preliminarily we have the charts for hourly salary, fire, and police in front of you.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion, Councilman Devont, second by Councilman Alexander. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Everybody vote. Let's go. All right. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Item number 7, update on data centers. Rosemary Bates.
There has been a lot of speculation and questions about data centers in Gallatin. We have 2. One is the Meta hyperscale data center that's in Industrial Center Phase 2. We have a second data center that has been constructed. It is down the street from Meta. It has been empty since it was completed. It is a co-location data center, which means their intention was to find people to lease space, whether 4 square feet or 10 square feet, and then they would slide their servers in there and these people would take care of the building. It was supposed to bring a very minimum of jobs. They have never found a tenant to move into it, and it's also next to the property that we're in court over to try to get back. The concern that I have had, and the reason I'm sharing this with you, is there's been a lot of misinformation about data centers in Gallatin. I read last night that Facebook built next to the old R.R. Donnelley building and that Amazon took over the R.R. Donnelley building. Well, neither of those is true. And I can share with you that economic development-wise, not the city of Gallatin, there are certain folks in the county who would like to have a data center in the county. That is not my territory to opine about, not my area of concern as the economic developer for the city of Gallatin. The data center that we do have, interestingly, it is a closed-loop cooling system. It uses about 100,000 to 200,000 gallons of water a month. Irrigation uses 1 million gallons a day. And I'm waiting for David to say I got that right or wrong.
100,000, 200,000 gallons a
Day.
versus an average last month of about 1 million gallons a day.
Okay, so 1 million gallons a day for irrigation is used in the city of Gallatin, has nothing to do with data centers, 100 to 200,000 gallons a day for the Meta data center. So the idea that it's going to drain us of all water and dry up the river and the lake is also not true. Now, I do want to add the caveat that a private property owner who has property zoned that would allow a data center may pursue one and get one approved without your permission. So if that is a concern of yours, that is something for you to address, not for me to address at this point in time. But today, we are not, my agency, the city, on behalf of the city, is not pursuing data centers. We're not recruiting data centers. We're not encouraging data centers, especially co-location data centers where we don't know who's going to be in those buildings and whether they're going to be good corporate citizens, and we want them in our community. If we had it to do over, we would not have encouraged the co-location center that we have. So I'm just trying to clear up a lot of information and scare out there that we're bringing another big data center to Gallatin, because if I have anything to do with it, we are not right now. So
Thank you.
if you hear that, we're not working on that. It could be a private developer.
Question?
Yes, question.
Rosemary, if I could ask you a question, please.
Yes, sir.
So a private property owner in the city of Gallatin
Yes,
with the correct zoning
correct.
needs nothing from us
Correct.
to put in a data center.
That's correct. It's just like building a
There's no-
convenience store on commercial property that's zoned for convenience
There's no
store.
master plan, there's no,
Not required on industrial property. But because typically there's nothing to master plan. It's usually a building on one piece of property with a driveway.
Brian, you got twisted there, huh? Sure.
I'll add to that, that if the building is less than 50,000 square feet in size, not even the planning commission sees that, it's a staff approval. So just FYI.
Okay. Any other questions?
That makes it even
Bond.
scarier, doesn't it?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that became a lot scarier. Yeah, there is a lot of things going on data center right now. I got the numbers on the water, so when I kind of jump when you say the first one, because that was not what I
glad
had on
David
my email.
corrected me, yeah.
Yeah, I think we have one and maybe a second one, and I think that's enough. I see Nashville right now, they're fighting again, the one they want to put near the zoo. A lot of cities in Tennessee are fighting against it. I think there is something going at the state level right now to try to block data center. I'm just putting that out there. I started to work on something, but I didn't have time to send it to everybody, so I would like to put on the next work session discussion on moratorium for data center in the city of Gallatin. Don't need a motion.
What did you say?
I want to put on the next work session a discussion on moratorium on data center in the city of Gallatin. Because if we have no say to what can be built in the city limit, if we approve a zoning, I have an issue with that, because we should be able to there is a lot of environmental concerns right now. There is a lot of energy concern, a lot of water concern. I know that Meta is, because I asked our electric side, Meta is mainly provided by TVA, so and of what we heard from the planner, TVA doesn't know. And I see two giant pieces. TVA doesn't know when they're going to be able to energize our north side. And I see two giant properties back there who's coming, we just annexed, who want light industrial, and that worries me because until, if we give them their zoning and suddenly they arrive and they build a data center and we have nothing to say, I have an issue with that.
Last week on this nuclear thing. Are you making a motion? We put it on the agenda.
I don't think I need a motion. What was passed doesn't say I need a motion. That say that's going to be. No, it doesn't say that on the new stuff you just passed a few weeks ago.
We legally put a moratorium on something that's already
I
zoned.
think the exact word would be that would be considered. There is no motion required.
The new ordinance is not yet on the website, so I cannot review it to tell you exactly what it says.
Okay. Thank you. I believe you're up next. Yeah, this resolution reappointing Neil Burgess to the Gallatin Health Educational and Housing Facilities Board.
It
Motion to
speaks
approve.
for itself.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second.
I know Mr. Burgess is a
Any-
great man.
Any,
Avance was the first motion. Just verifying. Thank you.
all right, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
We're working him.
All right, let's see. Item number 9. Rachel, this resolution supporting the City of Gallatin's application for the 2027 Arts Builds Communities ABC grant.
The city is requesting permission to apply for the ABC grant. We've applied for this one and been awarded in years past. We tend to use it for updating the artwork along the greenway, and that's the plan for this one as well. There's a $5,000 maximum award. It is 100% funded by the state. We don't have a match for it, and we're asking for approval.
Have a motion by Councilman Fennell, second by Stephen Carter. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Rachel, you're up next. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign interlocal agreement with Sumner County government for state fast-track funds for the North Sumner Waterline project.
As you're all aware, we are the lead on a large water project that will cover North Sumner County, bringing water security to a lot of the people around the Portland, Bethpage, Oak Grove area. The state awarded, the city of Portland asked for the state to give additional funding for the project. The state gave the money to the county, and the county wants us to sign a memorandum of understanding in order to give it to us to complete the project. So this is just an agreement between us and the county that we're going to follow all the state and federal rules regarding this money, and that we will spend it appropriately for this project.
All right, motion by Fennell, second by Carter. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, here again, this is authorization to write off old general billing balances.
Back in early 2015, we started using a new software for some general billing type invoices. A lot of those were in two separate softwares, two separate systems. In the beginning, we were using them for life safety permits and inspections. We had police and fire false alarm billings that went through there. And since 2015 through 2022, we have about $15,780 of old invoices that have not been paid for various reasons. Some of these, I believe, are actually bookkeeping errors. They were marked paid in one system, but it didn't pull over to the other system. And then some of these, the residences and/or business owners are no longer here. They've moved away, they've passed away, businesses have changed hands. So we would like permission to write off these old balances. Again, they go from 2015 to 2022.
Yeah. Motion by Jones, second by Alexander. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 12, Chief Bandy, discussion on potential property purchase.
Yes, I know it's been brought up a couple of times in the last 2 or 3 weeks of potential locations for a new police headquarters. So I sent something out today on email, and I hope everybody got it, with some different locations. The one that we've been discussing recently is the fairgrounds property, and I think it was 1.8 million appraisal, and they're asking 4.1 million. So 6.23 acres. So I just don't know. Again, this kind of a discussion. We're very, very early on in this whole process. So something for you guys to think about. Any questions?
Any questions
Any
for him?
suggestions?
I know this is going to be an ongoing issue because it's, it's all about the future, not just 5 years
Absolutely.
from now, but 25 years from now.
40 to
So,
50 years
yeah.
is what we're planning on. So I won't be here, y'all won't be here, but hey, we're going to plan on it.
Yeah.
But, and again, if you do see or know of a property or have a suggestion, we're looking, again, for the future to build something big that's going to cover it for a long time. And, we're open to suggestions.
What footprint did you say you need?
I'm sorry, excuse me?
What size footprint did you say you really?
We're looking anywhere from 6 to, 6.5 to 7 acres, and that's, that's to cover. If you saw some of the examples I gave you today, from Hendersonville to Mount Juliet to Franklin. Well, Hendersonville is looking to build, I'm sorry, but Mount Juliet to Franklin, 95,000 square foot. They have 140 current officers. We have 115, and, if we build, it's kind of like, not knocking what the school system does, but sometimes they build and next thing you know it's full and they're looking to build again. So we hopefully can do something down the road where we don't have to come back and, hey, can we add a building type thing? Because if you think about it, we have 3 different locations. We have our police headquarters now, which is 16,000 square feet. That was built in '77. Of course, we have CID, which is the old health department, which is 8,000 square foot. And our training facility is 5,000 square feet, and we're very grateful for all of it. It's just we'd love sometime down the road to get everybody under the same roof, and that all totals to 29,000 square feet. So we're outgrowing ourselves there. We have probably close to 125, 127 employees right now, and that's going to grow, and that's civilians and certified officers included. So, yes, sir.
Chief, I'm all for the PD and keeping everybody happy down there, but I had a question. How many people are in the HQ building at the same time?
Wow, I don't know. That's a trick question. Of course, you have command staff during the day. You have the records division. You have shift change where 30-plus people. So, again, but you also have CID across town, which that's another 15 folks. So, again, trying to add my head, but it's 7 or 8 records folks, 7 or 8 command staff. You got officers in and out. You got evidence downstairs. Of course, our evidence is pretty jam-packed, but we use a shelving system that we purchased a few years ago to try to do the best we can with it. But again, it's a 1977 building. So,
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
thank y'all for your time.
Thanks. All right. Moving on, item number
Can I-
13.
Just a second for Susan. I pulled out the ordinance, and the exact wording is, council member wishing to present matters for consideration must do so under the other business section during either council meeting or council committee meeting. These matters will be considered for inclusion on a future
Will
agenda.
be considered, yeah,
There
I
is
found it
no-
also, will be considered, and I think the intent of that was that you're going to consider it, the council is going to consider it for inclusion on the next agenda. But y'all can do with it what you may.
The rest, every stuff is clear when there is a vote to be done, but not on that one, so maybe that should be amended.
I agree.
What do you think we should do? Go back and,
It's up to this body, but I do think, I mean, in the past, we have voted to put things on the agenda.
okay. So
We
we
did
need,
that last week.
we'll
Councilman
address
Alexander's.
that at the end then. How about that?
Sure.
All right. Moving on, number 13 is a discussion on Nuclear Family Month resolution. Councilman Alexander.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Appreciate Mr. Zinser being here tonight and sharing his thoughts on this resolution. He drafted it, and if I could speak as eloquently as him, I might still be pastoring. I don't know, but I did some research. I had heard about the state adopting it, and I did some research. House Joint Resolution 182 was adopted in March. It passed the House 72-14. All three Sumner County representatives, Lamberth, Garrett, and Slater, all voted yes. It passed the Senate 26-4 with Senator Hale voting yes, and then the governor, Lee, signed it March 23rd. When I read this, I see this resolution as a invitation to celebrate the traditional nuclear family, the core of family. I don't think that it singles out or belittles single parents. I would never want to be a part of anything like that. My son was a single dad, which happens extremely rare. And so we have experienced that in my family, but rather I think it gives us an opportunity to celebrate traditional family values. A speaker last week mentioned that it excluded people. Well, a lot of the celebrations exclude people. I think it's next month. Boy, I looked, and there is something every month to celebrate. I think next month, if I remember right, is Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't have any Hispanic heritage in my family. It doesn't mean it can't be celebrated. And so I kind of feel the same way about this. This resolution that was signed into law has no consequences if you choose not to celebrate it. You're not going to be arrested. There's no fines. It's simply, and Mr. Zinser worded it very eloquently. I think he said to honor and uplift was the words he used. Families and those that are working to help families. And man, as a pastor for 35 years, so much of my time has been just that, helping families. And it didn't matter if they were single family or traditional nuclear family. I helped them. So I think this is a call to celebrate. I don't see this as a call to point anybody out or to belittle anybody or infringe on their freedoms. I think it's a call to celebrate. And so that's my thoughts.
Councilman Carter.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. My thoughts are totally different. I don't support this. I mean, it specifically speaks of fatherless families, and I was a fatherless child. I'm not dependent upon any chemical substance. I don't have behavioral or mental health issues. Thank God I'm not suicidal. I didn't drop out of high school where I graduated with honors. I didn't drop out of college where I graduated with honors. I think this ordinance or this resolution devalues, I guess you could say, non-traditional single-parent households, and I could never support something like this because it goes against everything that my mother stands for, who was a single parent that raised not only me but 4 other siblings. My mom was actually a teen parent, and she did the very best that she could. Was she perfect? No, she wasn't by any means, but I think she done a wonderful job. This is not something that I support. I also don't support the statement where it states nuclear families built the United States. This country was built on the backs of slaves and free labor, whose families were torn apart and sold on butcher blocks, and that devalued families. So I'm not going to be supporting this, and I will be voting no against it, or I won't be voting to send it on to council.
Any other discussion? Councilman Javon.
I really don't know what to say. I read the state, I read this resolution. I had Mr. Zinzer who had, eloquent, I think that the word you use. I had Ms. Bates. I had Pastor Todd, and I kind of agree. Because the way I was looking at it is the same thing every month. It's a month for something, and same thing like you said. Next month is Hispanic month. I want to celebrate it. We had Black History Month, and I celebrate Black History Month. I don't think that's nothing to do with race, nothing to do with sex, that's nothing to do with, it's just celebrate the family. And I grew up in mom-dad family. I had friends who grew up in single-parent family, and they will probably be happy to celebrate the same thing. So I don't have an issue with it. I think there is no point of making something was not, and using all the stuff who should not be used. So we'll be voting for it.
Okay, any other discussion? We don't have a motion yet, so.
Motion to send on.
I second.
Motion by Alexander, second by Javance. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
2 ayes and 1 abstention, and
I want to abstain.
do what?
I want to abstain.
Okay, so 3 noes, 2 abstentions, and 2 yeses, so fails. Okay, moving on, item number 14. Continue discussion on construction moratorium. Who wants to take off with that?
Go ahead.
I think Todd, you had a last week or week before, whatever, was it last week? You wanted to get the department heads, you want to?
Yeah, the
talk
department
about
heads,
that?
that's in the packet. I appreciate their info.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
So I think it's big stuff. Again, I read the department head reports, and there is some I agree with, some I disagree with, but that's my belief. All I hear, and it's not just the people who are talking to us, it's coming still from the city or from the GD. What I hear from our electric company is worrisome. All right, you're on the board. I was there when we talk about the issue with TVA. The director of the electric company said we cannot provide more to the north side of the city, and there is no backup. I mean, I look on the news, one day it's a squirrel who put half of the city in the dark. 1 week later, it's a snake who put a piece of the city in the dark. At least it's not a raccoon, so I'm good with that. But you know, we need to put more money on the street. It's too much right now. I was looking at, I just put zero, the real estate right now. And if I click on realtor.com and ask how many houses are for sale in Gallatin, right now there is 926 homes for sale in Gallatin. 926. So I don't know how many sales a day, but even if you sell 10 a day, that's more than 3 months inventory. There is plenty to go. We have plenty approved to go. You know, Chief wanted a fire engine on the budget. We said, oh, maybe at the end of the year we'll get money for the fire engine. So I think it's time to take care of what we have. 2 weeks of, I was not there 2 weeks, but I think 3 or 4 weeks ago we got a resolution was named emergency repair on emergency repair. That's what we allocated money for. So I send you all a draft of resolution. I think Vice Mayor, you wanted to know, you know, where it stands. I send it to you all. I think it's pretty clear. I can, hopefully you read it. I send it to Susan too, because she always finds things to tweak in there.
I did not have an
I know,
opportunity
that was
to
the last
review that.
minute. I was traveling, so.
Would you said I wanted to know what?
Huh?
You said I wanted to know what?
Yeah, where we wanted to go.
What we want to do?
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
I put it in there, and to make it clear, I will publish it so people can see about it. But the stuff I wanted to do is for 1 year, no new apartment development or multifamily residential project, new residential subdivision or developments on R8 or R6, no PRD, no MRO, and a strict adherence to the zoning code. I think we need to come here. We have a zoning code, we need to adhere. And if we were just applying the zoning code and stop giving all this exemption, who reduce the lot size, who reduce the green space, who let people put more than they're supposed to do, who reduce the street sign. If we were just doing that, adhering to the zoning code, that would fix a lot of issues we have, because developer would not be able to put as many houses as they put. The lots would be bigger. People will be happier, because I hear people who live on some of the subdivision. They bought that because that's all was available to buy, and they're not happy because they don't realize what's going on. So I send it to you. Hopefully you read it. If you need more time to read it, I'm okay to postpone one more session so you can read it and give feedback on what it is. And
I did read it. I mean, it got, I think it's getting a little complicated, but you know, the biggest thing, we can keep kicking this down the road if we want to, but the biggest thing we started out with was doing a moratorium on apartments. I don't have a problem sitting up here right now making a motion to do a moratorium on apartments for a year, year and a half, whatever we can do. I don't have a problem doing that. I think that's the biggest issue that we have right now.
I'm with you on that.
Because, I mean, I read where you're getting into MRO property and all this other stuff and, you know, everything else. I mean, you're getting a little bit out there to where we're going to have a moratorium on no building, period. Of residential, MRO, anything. But the biggest thing was just apartments.
I'm okay with start with apartment. When I proposed it, it was for identity, but I'm okay with start with apartment. But what I would want to make sure, and I think we should adhere to that and make the life of everybody a lot easier, is that we adhere to, we stick to the zoning code. I mean, we need to stop giving exemption. Look at what we had tonight. They came with a development with an exemption on every line of what they request. We should not do that. The code is clear on the exemption. The exemption should be given to a reason, but we don't even follow that. It's become automatic, almost. They want an exemption, we give it to them.
This body has an opportunity every time it's before you to turn those exemptions down.
Yeah.
Every time an applicant brings in exemptions, this body makes that decision. It's not an automatic. It shouldn't be an automatic. This body votes on it.
That's how that looked like for all the years I've been sitting there or there. Every time, I don't think I maybe seen a handful in 9 years, exemption refused, and generally that was for architectural issue. That's all that was. I don't think I ever seen an exemption requiring a zone, a lot, reduce, refuse. And that's what I mean. And again, it's to make the life of everybody easier. If developers know that they're not going to get, they can't, or they're not going to get an exemption on a lot, they're going to arrive with better planning. And that's going to make the life of our people easier too, and they're going to make our life better.
And sometimes, I mean, people are going to come back with architectural exemptions. I mean, sometimes houses look better when you got hardy board in a mix of, this or that and other. And some areas look better with all hardy board. Habitat for Humanity.
I know.
You voted to give them exemptions for architecture, did you not?
I did.
Okay. Tonight, we just did a road where you gave the guy the property back that we're making an exemption because of our code in fire says that 30 homes have to have a cut-through road. I know that was done prior to, but now they're saying, yes, we should have that road. You made an exemption. There's always going to be exemptions, always. Unless you want to stick to it 100% every time with everything you vote on. I've been here 30 years. There's always going to be exemptions. Councilman Alexander.
Councilman Fan.
No, Councilman Fan.
Before I could vote on this, this is a question for Susan. Is this something you would have to write up, what the exemptions would be, if any?
The apartment moratorium.
I'm all for, if we, just like Craig and Sean said, if we're going to get rid of apartments for a while, I'm okay with that. But what if a guy owns a single lot and he says he wants to build a house on it? Is that going to be included in this?
I guess it depends on what your ordinance says. And remember, this also has to it'll go through planning first. We would probably we wouldn't start here. You would start here with your parameters and it would have to go through planning. It has to go through the whole process for it to be legal. But yes, someone would need to draft something outlining what the parameters are going to be. If you look back, there's a memo that I did that kind of outlines parameters of what you can and can't do.
Is it possible to draft something just for the apartments and leave everything else as is?
Yes, Hendersonville did that.
Did what?
Hendersonville did that.
Didn't it?
That 9-month moratorium on apartments, yes. Councilman Alexander?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Just as a point of information, if nothing else through this, I've enjoyed meeting with the department heads and having dialogue and talking. And if you saw Mr. Rose's report that he brought back this time, and please correct me, Brian, if I don't get it right, but there's roughly 10,000 units already approved. And if you saw in his report that he turned in for tonight's meeting, 4,983 are apartments. There's 10,000 front doors have been approved. Half of them are already apartments. They're unbuilt. They've not been started.
I would like to correct that.
Nope.
If I may.
Sure, please do.
The total number that you have in that 4,900 number.
87, yes.
87.
I misspoke.
Number includes townhomes and apartments.
That's what I thought.
And I don't have it broken out. I can get you that information as far as the breakdown of apartments versus townhomes. But all of those, in my opinion, were considered multifamily. And so
You read the
I
number
gave
of
you that number
apartments.
as a total multifamily number.
Okay. It said with the number of apartments at 4987, that's what made me think that.
Thanks, Brian.
Greg, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
About, when you, I'm for the moratorium about the high density, like the apartments and all that, and I don't understand what everybody's saying. But when you take something from here, and people's used to working, as far as the contractors, they got families that they take care of. I just don't want it to affect, you know what I'm saying, the trickle-down effect, I guess, of people make a living. I mean, some people make a living working at these places and building and all that. I just, like I said, it's just something on my mind. But.
Yes, Councilman Javons.
Paul, I agree with you that people leave, but did you try finding someone to build something on your property right now? You can't, because they all go build on the construction side. So there is work on construction, and we have plenty.
You ever did construction work? You ever did construction work?
Not a lot, but I build things with cement blocks, because where I grew up, we had cement blocks, not wood. So, but yeah, I would be okay with a multifamily.
How would we do would we just get you to draft up an ordinance, and then would it go back to planning first, and then, or how would that work?
I mean, I would need
If we give you the parameters,
specific
say.
parameters, and it will not get done this week.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that it's a start.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, just give me the parameters, and I would probably work with Mr. Rose, and I'm sure we could come up with something.
well, let's start with what, apartments? Do we have to give you, well, I'm trying to get parameters here. Do we have to give you number of units? Do we have to give you what?
Are you,
Does anybody know if we've got a lot of property that is already zoned for additional apartments?
I'm sure there is for MRO and stuff, and we can find that out between now and next week or two, too. So Brian can get us that information, correct?
and I guess that's, part of it, we need to find out, are you talking no more zoning, no more applications? The ones that are already approved, can they be built?
Yes.
Because what I thought that I heard everyone say is if it's approved, we're not going to stop that.
Yeah.
Only for new applications in.
We're going to have to do zoning, because if they rezone, that's what I learned on long ago is these apartments will build what the name of these guys now? Change the name 3 times or 4 times. The one on the other side of Buckingham. Argento or something like that. Argento, so, that's why I learned they had the zoning so they could build there. And by the way, they're going to be HUD apartments, in case you didn't know.
Going to be what?
HUD, HUD.
So yes, I think we're talking about no more zoning, no more
No, I was
applications.
saying about the Argento apartment. They have a big sign that they're going to be HUD,
HUD.
low income,
HUD.
Section 8. So, yeah, I will start with zoning and apartment.
And since you bring that up, I do feel compelled just to say that there could be a challenge based on fair housing. Other places have not been challenged, but I would not be doing my due diligence and telling you all of the potential. I know that other cities haven't been, but that has been challenged in other states and other areas. I just want to say that to you so that if something were to happen, you just say, well, you didn't tell us that.
Can you kind of bring us back, I mean, like, look at a couple other cities, like Hendersonville, what they did, and a couple
Sure.
that did that, just for the apartments, like what they did?
I will, I can. When would you like that?
Committee meeting, next committee meeting, Ken?
2 weeks.
That will be difficult for me with my current schedule. We would have to, let me see, the deadline to get it on the agenda. Check.
There's only one thing that I really don't understand is, say if somebody's got prescribed rights on a piece of property that they can put apartments on, and also we come in with a moratorium on apartments, is that telling them they don't have the right to build on their property? You see what is that a bad question?
Good question.
That's where you run into lawsuit and stuff.
Thank
I
you.
want to put a moratorium on apartments, but
I know.
I will not, I cannot meet that deadline because it would have to be turned in by next Thursday, and I'm going to be out of the office.
Okay. Well, just get it to us as soon as you can, like maybe,
I could do it on the next work session, or someone else could take a shot at doing it. I mean, I could get
We can just. I
Ben
think
to get started on it.
do that.
I will not have had a chance to review it when it comes.
well, can we just look at it? I mean,
Well, let's just let Ms. Macaulay do it on her timeline.
Let's put it on the agenda, and if we don't have anything, we don't have anything, and if you can do it, and I will help you if you need stuff.
So next work session.
I got a question for
That what I'm
Mr.
hearing?
Rose.
yeah, did you make a motion?
Motion?
I can't.
Second. Okay, all those in favor of putting it on the work session? Aye. Anybody on that side of the room?
No.
Yeah. That's unanimous. Put it on work session. All right.
Thank you.
And thank y'all, department heads, for doing that. Buddy.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
On that same subject of the moratorium, and one of the causes that, I hear a lot about is traffic and the congestion. As I met with Mr. Rose in planning, he told me that the ZOCO planning changes are coming this fall, October, November, somewhere around in there, that should have an effect on future buildings. When I met with our city engineer, Nick Tuttle, he's telling me there's a master transportation plan getting updated, and that hasn't been updated since '08. And I can wait on those. I believe in our department heads. But one thing I can't do is just sit and do nothing. And so in talking with Mr. Tuttle especially, I'd like to propose that the city hire a traffic engineer for 1 year, and that person's sole job is to look at traffic improvements. Mr. Tuttle and I talked about, there's some places that you could get traffic off of main roads by extending the turn lanes. Some of those might require some asphalt. Some of them we identified. It's just a matter of restriping it. I mean, that's easy. The more cars that we can get off of some of these roads, I think the better we would be. I would not want this person looking at PMDPs, would not want them looking at other stuff. But if their job for a year is to, hey, here's how we can make traffic better in Gallatin.
I thought we were doing that now. We've done it on Airport Road.
Belvedere's got it going on now, right?
Again?
Belvedere's got it going on right now, don't they? By Chick-fil-A?
Yes. You're talking about improving turn lanes and stuff? Yeah.
Who proposed that to be done? Nick in his office?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's a great thing.
So
You talking about like an engineer consultant just for a year?
Just whether we hire somebody for a year or we contract with a firm, but that's their sole job, is to go around this city and say, hey, we can make this better, we can make that better. And obviously they'd have to be, working with TDOT on the state roads, because that's, a lot of it.
What do you think, Nick? Yeah.
Oh, we've talked about it. I wouldn't put him on the spot too much.
I think it's going to be hard to hire somebody just for a year. As I spoke with Councilman Alexander, it would have to be a contract worker. So we would look to hire a consultant. You could do it the embedded style, where that person would have a City of Gallatin email address, would report to our office, just as if they were a City of Gallatin employee.
Can you find out a cost on something like that for us?
I can. I would just guess off the top of my head, if we're looking for somebody for a year, we're talking, I'm going to say $300,000, but I would have to.
Yeah.
We have,
check on that and see.
We have reserved funds for infrastructure investments. That I think this could be funded through there. This wouldn't be part of your, obviously it would take an ordinance to do that, to appropriate that money.
Yeah.
But we've got the money in the infrastructure development fund.
Can you check on that cost and get back with us?
Yeah, so what I understand is you're interested in a contract worker for a year. This person would be a traffic engineer solely dedicated to trying to find improvements for our system. So they could be analyzing the system, but they could also be working on projects, which we have some in the pipeline now, that they would be helpful in pushing those things forward. So that's my understanding.
Coordinating with TDOT.
Of course, sure.
Nick, would you hire a firm or a person?
It would be a firm.
Yes. I just wanted to.
But the idea or the intention is that we would have a person from that firm
Dedicated.
that would be embedded. So they would be a person, but
They would look like one of our employees, but
correct.
They're not, yeah.
Could we possibly find one that's recently retired that wants a part-time job?
Possibly, yes. What we would do is we would make an advertisement for these services, and we would, if you know of someone, definitely clue them into the advertisement. We would go through a process of selecting this firm or contractor. It could be a single person, but we could go through the process of selecting them based on their qualifications. So that's how the services would have to be
I like it.
secured.
Okay, Councilman Javance.
Thank you, Craig. I like the idea. The only idea I don't like is using a firm, because if you have somebody who work for the city, I think gonna react differently than a firm. When you work for someone and you take pride in your job, is different than a firm who's paid to do that and who's paid by plenty of people. So if that's going to cost $300K for a year, I'm pretty sure we can find someone, someone dedicated to that, who's going to have enough job. But the way we're growing.
So another thing that I explained to Mr. Alexander was that we did hire a full-time traffic engineer at the beginning of this year. If you recall, within the budget last year, you funded a position to add an assistant city engineer for traffic. I advertised that position, but I also advertised assistant city engineer for development alongside, because I was unsure what kind of applications I may get. The only application that I got for the traffic engineer position was an internal candidate, which was Aaron Hickson. Moved him into that position. And so my guess is it's going to be really hard, especially at the wages we pay, to find a traffic engineer for that position. That's why, as I was speaking with Councilman Alexander, I suggested this route. It's going to cost us, but if we go and we try to advertise for a position, I'll say $100,000 annual salary, and we say you're only going to be here for a year, we're not going to get any applications.
No, I was not talking about just for a year. I was talking, it's a budget gap for this year, and we keep it rolling because that's going to be a job. We're going to need that job for years to come, not just 1 year.
Sure. I'm not saying
So
we couldn't use it for longer.
Our traffic engineer will also be working on getting up to speed.
Absolutely, yes.
That's the thing, that after a year, he's still got other responsibilities to look at, traffic
Yes.
studies and things with developers. And that's what my thought was, let's get one person whose job every day is to go around town and look for ways to make things better for traffic.
Councilman Carter?
I think this is something that we need to leave in the hands of Mr. Tuttle. He is the engineer. He runs that department. We've hired him to do so. We trust him to do so. And especially considering I've had city employees that we currently employ that have complained about the 50-cent cost of living raise. And now we're saying, hey, we have the funds in the general reserve fund. Let's give a firm $300,000. I think that's a slap in the face to our employees that work for us every single day. And I don't support it.
And it's not the general reserves. I'm sorry. This is money that we have set aside for infrastructure development, just to be clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that correction, but I still don't support it, knowing we have employees that don't feel like they're making enough now and they can't afford to live.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on, we are now under other business. Anybody up here have anything?
Are we going to talk about that at the next
Meeting?
work session?
Yeah. I guess we need to vote on that. Do you got a motion? Yeah. Motion, I'll second.
Motion to study.
Second. All right. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? All right.
No.
So 6-1. All right, thank you. Now then, do we need to go back and reconsider the, what'd you have?
Moratorium on data center.
What?
Data center moratorium.
Huh?
The data center moratorium.
Oh, data center moratorium, all right.
I can send you, I didn't have time to send it today, but I can send you sometime next week so you can read and entertain what I'm proposing. So at least, you read it on the paper, you can think about it, and we can move forward or not. So.
All right, is that a motion? Motion to send it to council committee?
Motion.
Is there a second? Second, Councilman Alexander. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
No.
No. 3. 2, 3 passes. Do you vote yes? 4. Passes 4-3. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Now we're on other business. Does anybody up here have any other business?
I just have one thing that I wanted to get some direction on from this council that Mr. Rose and I spoke about earlier today. Typically, it used to be that we did not have a council meeting like the week of July 4th or right around there. And the Greensboro Village second reading, if we don't do it the night of the public hearing, is scheduled for that night. And I just want direction from this body whether you want to do the second reading. Is that scheduled for next week? The public hearing is next week. If we want to do the second reading then, or if you want to do it on July 7th. I know that there'll be a lot of people, potentially council members, but also citizens that won't be here that week. Just want to.
I don't have a problem doing it at the same time.
Stack it.
We've done that before, yeah.
And I disagree with stacking. I think that we have one session hearing, another session. It's been like that for a reason. If we don't have a council, it's not new. That was published for a while, so I don't see why while we're stuck, I think we need to do public hearing, let people come and speak, because again, it's not, if that was just a budget allocation or something, I would have no issue with that, but it's a sensitive, has been a sensitive stuff, and
This is the one that we're sending back through, so we have already had a public hearing, and we've had a lot of opportunity. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up. I don't want us to be in a similar position where we don't have people here, and then we could be challenged by the applicant.
I have an issue with it.
That's why I'm asking for direction from this body.
That should not even come here. That should stay how that was on schedule. I don't even see why it's.
I'll make a motion, we put them both on the same agenda.
Second. That's July 7th?
No.
Actually be next week. Next week. July 7th is, if we don't do it next week, July 7th is when it would be scheduled to be heard.
We got a motion and a second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion, further discussion on that? All right, all those in favor? Aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1. Okay. All right, any other business up here?
Craig, I want to tell everybody, the department heads, man, I appreciate everything that y'all do, and would like to ask y'all to just tell your employees tomorrow that you appreciate them, because it means a lot to them when they're out here working hard. And again, I'd like to tell Richard the Priest, I appreciate y'all paving the end of Maple Street over there. The wagon trail is gone.
All right, what about department heads? Do we have any department head reports? Everybody's quiet. All right, is there another motion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.